Well, good morning, everybody. This is DearMamaSal, and it's Thursday. We know I like Thursdays. 12 degrees Celsius. Sorry, a bit of a traffic jam here. There we go. Anyway, 12 degrees Celsius here in British Columbia, southern British Columbia, which would make it 53, a little chilly. In Washington State. Now you can probably see that I've dressed accordingly today because the weather forecast is for this weather to sort of stay socked in for most of today, to clear up a little bit apparently this afternoon. So I decided I would dress accordingly. Because I've noticed I've been a little chilly at work the last couple of days, and so I've sort of done different layering today, slightly warmer layering than I've been doing. Of course, now that I've done that, you understand the heat will kick in and then I'll be sweltering, but never mind. We can handle that, right? So we've got clouds absolutely everywhere. But that's okay. The roads will all be nicely washed, and the grass, you can almost hear the grass sighing with relief, you know, like, oh, water, you know, because we had quite a few quite dry days there, and so it's delightful that it worked. It's been fascinating to me that only a couple of people reacted to yesterday's vlog. I was quite sure that I get a lot of feedback on that one in terms of people's experiences with things similar to what happened to me yesterday. And it was such a wonderful experience overall. That it just reminded me to be grateful for everything, regardless of what it looks like at the time. I always say to people, you know, whatever's hitting you and feels so terrible, 5 years from now it'll make a lot more sense. So I guess the word for today is delay. Sometimes it's a really good idea to delay your reaction, or delay, as I did yesterday, or delay your judgment of a situation, because it may just be that you don't see the whole picture yet. And so you sort of look at it and you go, if I just look at it in the moment, this is my reaction to it, but if I look at it in the long term, my reaction could be totally different. And not only that, when you look back on it from the long term, you go, wow, if I'd known what I know now, I would have reacted totally differently. So that's something to have just a little think about. You know, how many things do we react to in the moment that really is, in a way, the wrong reaction? So we need to just look at some of that. And the opposite of that would also be true, right? Sometimes you're going, yay, you know, I've got a brand new car, and we forget what a brand new car is going to cost us. I don't know if I mentioned, but when I was getting my car serviced the other day, getting the oil change done, one of the things that the guy working on it said to me, because my car is nearly a 20-year-old car now, And he said to me, boy, you sure look after your car. He said, I've been looking at your track record. And he said, you surely look after your car. And I said, well, it's been my experience that if you look after a car, it will look after you. You know, if you run a car until it's screaming for help, then everything goes rather quickly. So, having said that, touch wood. But, you know, I do put oil changes in my car very regularly. When it's due for a engine flash or a transmission flash or whatever, I don't necessarily do it that particular service, but I will do it. Because I know there's a reason for it. Now, does it cost you an extra $50? Yes, it does. But you know something? An extra $50 today is a lot cheaper than the $500 it's going to cost you, or maybe $5,000 it's going to cost you a year from now, because you didn't do it. And that's the way that I am inclined to look at it. And I hadn't realized, in fact, how long I'd had my car. Until he mentioned that to me. So, I've never been one for swapping my cars every 3 years just to get the latest version. My attitude is, if my car suits me, why would I change it? And I must admit that when I got this one, I remember being blown away. Because, you know, it did have a lot of bells and whistles, I must say, even for 20 years ago. You know, it has heated seats, and it has leather seats, and it has a really good tow package on it, which I need for pulling the trailer. But, you know, it had a lot of bells and whistles that I treated myself to, because I knew I was going to be pulling a trailer with it, and I knew that I wanted a workhorse. I didn't want a fancy car. You know, my previous car was a turbocharged number, which I loved. But this time I wanted a workhorse, something that was going to pull the trailer wherever I decided to go. So you look at it and go, okay, fine, what if I delayed servicing my car? Well, yeah, you can do that for maybe one sort of service oil change thing, but you know, if you start doing it for more than that, then you're really playing with trouble there. And so be aware and be careful. Delay doesn't feel good. Like most of us like instant gratification, right? I want it, and I want it now. I'm forcing myself not to go and buy another television at the moment, because I want to know, what do I miss? And what surprises me is not very much. And what I've also found out, and I know this sounds ridiculous, I have now got the biggest radio in the business. I have a 48-inch radio, because the volume, the audio still works, it's just the picture that's gone. And so what I found is I can actually still turn on the news and listen to it. And if there's anything that I think should have an interesting visual to it, I just go to the internet and pick it up on the internet. Now, it's a little bit different way of watching the news, but I must admit that it's cut my time that I spend watching the news down dramatically. So my instant gratification, I decided, no, I'm not going to get a television immediately. Basically because I had some expenses this month that I wasn't expecting, as you know. I needed to get the new trailer hitch. That's an important thing. And I also had to get the car serviced. So I've got to sort of lay low on the expenses for a couple of weeks, and then we will probably get, hopefully, a puppy, if that's on the cards, and because by then we should have paid off the expenses that I wasn't expecting this month. So again, delay. Can I delay getting a puppy? Yeah, I can delay getting a puppy. Of course, there is that part of you that goes, the longer I delay, the more I get used to not having a puppy in the house. Yeah, right. You all know that's not going to happen. So, but I seem to remember that between the passing of my previous dog, Bud, and getting Bean Bean, there was about a 2-month gap. Not because I wanted there to be, just because that's how long it took me to find him. So, you know, delay is good. So I'd really like you to be aware of have you got the discipline to delay reaction? Have you got, you know, and stay calm. Have you got the discipline, if you like, to delay the need for something? I keep reading time and time again, and I really understand it at a different level, which is, you know, happiness is made up with being happy with what you have, not constantly wanting more of something you don't have. And I think that is so true. I just saw something, and I'm watching some building going on just as I drive. There's a new project going on my right hand side, and they are building a house, and what I saw was obviously the wall, the right hand or left hand wall of the house going up, and I'm not joking, it must be no more than 10 feet away from the next house. Oh, 10 feet. I mean, basically you could open the window if there was one and lean out and touch the next house, almost. I don't know about you, that's pretty darn close for a big house. And I'm talking about a house that looks like it's going to be probably 3,500–4,000 square feet. And you're 10 feet away from your neighbor? I don't think so. That to me does not sound like a good plan. But then, that is just my, that's just my personal judgment, right? Alright, they're really making a mess of my road here. So we got a 4-lane road here that they've cut in half because they're repaving, which is the good news on that is, you know, in a couple of days hopefully that will be a really nice road to come drive on. At the moment it's very inconvenient. Oh, that reminds me, I left my cough medicine and my lozenges at home. Rats. Now, I know that probably sounded pretty bad, but it's a lot better. You know, it's loosened up, it's not tight anymore, it's definitely going in the right direction, which is away. So I'm very, very happy. Still a little bit of a cold going on, but nothing very serious at all, so I'm very grateful for that. Alright, so here's the thing. What I'd like you to do is, if you've got any examples of where you delayed reaction or you delayed getting something and that it turned out to be a good thing, drop a note so people can read about it and understand that sometimes, you know, the delay is really what you need more than anything. So I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm going to send you a big virtual hug for those of you who need it. And don't we all need a virtual hug every now and then? Have fun with your day. Enjoy it. Say nice things to people. And delay any nasty comments today if you can. And that is a choice. Every day we make that choice. You can either say nice things to people, or if they trigger you, you could end up saying nasty things. So I'd like you to delay some of those today if you can. I'm not asking you to be perfect, but work on delay. Alright everybody, have a wonderful day. This is DearMamaSal saying thank you for watching. Bye bye for now.